NFL football is finally back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here. We are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Thursday, September 8th slate of NFL action. Yes, I'm super pumped to get into it. This is the first official game of the 2022 NFL season, and man, I am super stoked to go ahead and dive into it. I ended up finding 3 plays that I truly do really like. One, not so much. I felt like I had to pick a side in this game, at least to give me something else to root for, so I did end up picking a side, but 2 plays I really like, so we will go ahead and dive into it. But before we did just want to go ahead and say that if you guys are new here, we will be dropping NFL videos pretty much every single week, both for the Thursday night football as well as Sunday, the full games all on Sunday. And if you guys are new to the channel, I'm a huge NBA guy. I do NBA videos all the time. I'll go ahead and drop my NBA record over here on the side as well. I've been very profitable for NBA, and I've been doing pretty much all the other sports too. I've been doing football. I've been doing college football here recently. I've been doing baseball. I'm kind of glad baseball season's almost over. It's been a rough betting time here for baseball. But, you know, I have been doing a lot of other sports. So if you guys are interested in anything when it comes to sports betting, make sure you go ahead and hit that sub button. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. And if we can hit that 7,000 subscriber mark by the time that the NBA season does start, I'll be doing a pretty big giveaway, and you guys won't want to miss it. So make sure that you guys do hit that sub button, and make sure you guys do turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I have to give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do, and thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me. Now, I will go ahead and have a word here from our sponsor, but before I did, spoiler alert, it is from PrizePicks. PrizePicks is also doing a very great special here. All Tom Brady has to do is get over 0.5 passing yards, just get one singular passing yard on Sunday's game, and you guys get a free square of your parlay. So make sure that you guys do take advantage of that. And if you guys haven't signed up for a sportsbook yet, make sure that you guys do sign up for PrizePicks using my code King Sanders. Whenever you do sign up, you'll get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. But a quick word here from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by PrizePicks. If you guys don't currently have a sports book that you do use, or if you do have one and you're just looking for something new, PrizePicks is a great way to get started. As you guys can see here on the screen, we are able to bet on pretty much every single sport that you can think of. We have MLB, we have the NFL, as of right now is the preseason, we have college football, we even have things like CSGO and some esports as well. And obviously, as you guys know, I'm a huge NBA guy, so once the NBA season does come around, you guys will be able to bet on player props from there as well. PrizePicks is very easy to use. I do love the no-run first innings, and that is something that you can go ahead and bet on here on PrizePicks as well. It's an absolutely fantastic app and website as well. So if you guys haven't already signed up for PrizePicks, make sure that you guys do that and use code King Sanders, and you can go ahead and get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. So the way that it does work is you go ahead and pick a couple here. So I'm just going to, for the sake of the video, say that the White Sox and the Orioles tomorrow are going to have a no-run first inning. The Toronto and Boston and the Cincinnati and Philadelphia are all going to have no-run first inning. Basically what I would do, I would go ahead and click less for all of these and do what is called a power play, which is basically the same as a parlay. All 3 legs do have to hit in order for the bet to actually cash out. On the flip side of things, you can also do a flex play. The flex play basically means if you do get one of the legs wrong, that's perfectly fine. You can still win some money. So PrizePicks is a great way to be able to win some money using player props and things of that nature to be able to win some money. So you can put together a bunch of different legs to win out some pretty big money. So once again, make sure you guys do use code King Sanders for whenever you do sign up. You will get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. And once again, thank you so much, PrizePicks, for sponsoring today's video. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally here with our plays. Normally, this would be the section where I do a recap, but obviously there's nothing to recap when it does come to the NFL. This is going to be the first game of the entire season, and I'm super stoked to dive into it. So without any further ado, no more rambling, dive into the plays. First play of the day. We're taking the over. It's the over. all over. I see this being a very, very high scoring game, so we're taking it. Bills and Rams over 51.5 at minus 110 odds. I mean, it just totally makes sense, right? First things first. Both these teams are fantastic teams. And Josh Allen, a fantastic quarterback. Matthew Stafford's a good quarterback. These are both very exciting teams to watch. What better way to kick off the football season than starting off with a very high-scoring shootout type of game? I do love this. But not only that, the history is backing our stats. So I'm going to go ahead and flash a graphic up here on the screen. I did a bunch of research for these first 3 plays, or at least the first 2. Like I said, we'll get into the side pick here later, but at least for the first two picks. So I'm going to go ahead and flash up the graphic for the last 11 kickoff games for the NFL season, and if you take a look at it, there's a couple little X's next to them. This has been my own research. Like I said, I put a lot of work into this, but if you take a look at it, the little X's for teams that at the end of the season in the kickoff game that both teams finish above 500. So let's say, for example, the first one, we have the Saints and the Packers in 2011. Both these teams did end up finishing above 500. There was 76 points scored in that game. So when both teams on both sides of the kickoff finish above 500 at the end of the season, the game has gone over 4 out of the 5 times. That is really great odds, and let's be honest here. I don't think there's any shot that the Bills or the Rams are below 500 this year, or even at 500. I would be incredibly, incredibly shocked. So, first thing, like I said, Saints and Packers in 2011, there were 76 points scored total. In 2014, the Packers and the Seahawks had 76 points as well. Wow, I read that wrong. They had 52 points in 2014. Still barely hitting the over, just barely, but they did still end up hitting the over. Then we had the Steelers and the Patriots in 2015. These two teams were a little bit more defensive heavy, so I kind of get it, but 49 points in that game, so just under the 51 mark, excuse me. Chiefs and Patriots in 2017. 69 points in that game. And the Cowboys versus the Bucks last year in 2021. The Cowboys were a very shocking team when it came to being above 500, but they scored 60 points. 5 games that show that the games are very high scoring when it's 2 really good teams going head to head. So I really do like this, especially with the history on that one. Also, both these offenses are very, very good, and they both score a lot of points. I know that the teams do look a little bit different this year, but Buffalo was the 3rd best offense in the entire NFL last year, and the Rams were 6th. Both these teams are very, very solid, no doubt about it. And if you want to do a little bit of line reading here, Josh Allen's passing yards is set to 278.5 yards, and Matthew Stafford's is set to 274.5. They're looking to close to 600 yards between the two QBs, and I definitely think that it could potentially exceed both of those numbers. Josh Allen's passing touchdowns is also set to 1.5 and boosted to minus 170 for the over. So they're expecting at least 2 passing touchdowns from Josh Allen. They're almost guaranteeing it, to be honest. And Matthew Stafford, his is set to 1.5. It's boosted to minus 180. So both these lines are super boosted. They expect at least 2 passing touchdowns from each of these teams. And I could potentially see them even getting 3. So I think that this is a really great spot. And if you take a look at it, Josh Allen, his interception over-under is set to 0 to a half exactly, so whether he's going to throw a touchdown or not. And it's boosted to minus 125 to the under, so they don't expect Josh Allen to be turning the ball over very much. And truthfully, neither do I. So I think this is a really great spot. And the last matchup that these two teams had was in 2020, and the score finished 35-32 in the Bills' favor for a total of 67 points. And I know that, and you guys might be saying that both these defenses are very good. I get that. But in 2020, both these defenses were very good as well. The Rams were number 1 in fewest points per game in 2020, and yet the Bills still put up 35 points on them. I definitely think we could potentially see another situation just like this. And the Bills, they were 16th in 2020, so it's not like they were bad, but it's not like they were great either. They were just kind of in that middle tier. And there's nothing wrong with that. Both these defenses have gotten a little bit better, but the Rams have slightly digressed because they were the best. But you know what I'm trying to say. The Bills, they have gotten slightly better. And on top of that, both these offenses have gotten extravagantly better. So I really like this spot here for this over. So we're going to be riding with it. Bills and Rams over 51.5 at -110 odds. Now for our second play of the day, this is also kind of riding with the over. We're taking Stefon Diggs over 68.5 receiving yards at -115 odds. Now if you take a look at it, like I said, I think this is a very high scoring game. And if it's going to be a very high scoring game, there's going to have to be a lot of passes thrown in that game. And I think that there will be. Like I said, if you look at the line reading for these, Josh Allen's over in receiving or in passing yards, is set to 278.5. I feel like a lot of those are going to have to be to Stefon Diggs and Gabe Davis. I really do think so. Also, I just don't think that there's going to be any running in this game. I would be truly shocked, and it kind of stinks because I do have David Singletary on my fantasy league. Well, spoiler alert, buddy, you're getting put on the bench this week, and I just don't really think you're going to be doing very good. Sorry, David Singletary, but I just don't really think it's going to be a very good spot here for him. But if you take a look at it, Stefon Diggs in the opening game, since he has started his NFL career, I'll go ahead and flash this up on the screen, but he's actually been really solid in the games in his kickoff games in the NFL so far. So if you take a look at it in 2015 versus the 49ers, unfortunately he didn't get a whole lot of repetitions at that point. He was a rookie, so he actually didn't really get any targets or anything like that. But in 2016 versus the Titans, he got 7 receptions for 103 yards. So he ended up hitting the over. In 2017 versus the Saints, 7 receptions, 93 yards. Ended up hitting the over. 2018 versus the 49ers, only 3 receptions for 43 yards. Still pretty decent, but nothing crazy. 2019 versus the Falcons, 2 receptions for 37 yards. Definitely not great, but for 2 receptions, it's actually pretty solid. He's looking at almost 20 yards of reception on that one. And in 2020 versus the Jets, 8 receptions for 86 yards. Another really good spot. He hit the over. And 2021, as of last year, versus the Steelers, 9 receptions for 69 yards. So I think that he has played really well in the first week of the NFL seasons, and I think that he is going to do that once again. If you look at his receptions line, it's set to 5.5. And the over is boosted to -125. So they expect him to get at least 6 receptions. And taking a look at some of the recent history, like I said, anytime that he does get right around like 7 and up receptions, he's actually hit the over in the starting game. So I think that he can once again. And the Rams, as great of a defense as they have been, if you take a look at it, as of last year, they gave up the 22nd most receiving yards last year. So they gave up a total of 4,109 total passing yards, averaging out to about 241.71 receiving yards per game. So I think that a lot of those are going to be going to Stefon Diggs, and I think that this is a really great spot for him. So that is going to be our second play of the day. Stefon Diggs over 68.5 receiving yards at -115 odds. And for our third and final play of the day, we're taking the side of fading the public. We're going to be riding with the Rams +2.5 at -110 odds. Now, I really like this one. I mean, come on. How can we bet against the reigning Super Bowl champs? I think that they go ahead and take out week 1. I think this is a really good spot here. Tre'Davious White is obviously injured here for the Bills, which is very unfortunate. Hopefully he does get better soon. But 60% of the public is also on the Bills spread, so that makes me like it even a little bit more. I don't think you can be a super square on the first day of the NFL season. I feel like it's going to be a very high-scoring game, and I think that the Rams can squeak out a win here versus Bills. I'm not taking money line. I'm just taking the 2.5 just in case if something crazy does happen. But also, the history does not back this bet whatsoever. The Bills and Rams have matched up 9 times since 1989, and the Bills have won and covered in 7 of them. So I think that this is a really good spot here for a bounce back for the Rams. Hopefully, they can change the narrative of them. They have not really played great versus the Bills over the course of the whole history, but hopefully they can switch things up. So that is going to be our third and final play of the day. Rams +2.5 versus the Bills at -110 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Center signing out. Peace.